everybody, welcome back to JuJu's Journey. Today, guess what we're going to talk about? July. It's July, y'all. Where did 6 months go? I feel like it should still be January. January. I don't know. I feel like time goes by so fast, and I feel like, what did I get accomplished? What did I do? But you know what? I'm not going to sit here today and beat myself up on myself for not accomplishing everything that I set my goals on. Today is going to be a reflection day on how good I did for the first half of the year. And I want you to sit there and reflect on how good you did the first half of the year. We're not failures. We did not do everything wrong. We've had a few setbacks, but we're still going strong. Look, I took a shower. I'm actually going to put on makeup today. That's a good thing. I'm trying to get back on track, being more intentional on my everyday life. That's not my right little thingy. Staying intentional. That doesn't mean that it's always going to be a success, you know? But I'm reflecting back on all the good things that happened this year already and the things that I have accomplished. One thing that I have stayed steady, true and steady, is my budget. Yes, have I made a few mistakes in my budget? Of course. Did I dial myself back in? Yes. Was I able to give myself those few little perks of door dashing too many times per week? Yes. Sometimes you just have to do some things, right? But did I go on a big clothing spurge? No. I went just on a little DoorDash spurge. And that's okay. But I reeled myself back in. And so we're doing good. So I did stay on my budgeting journey, and that has helped so much. You have no idea. If you're I don't care if you have all the money in the world, I still think you should put yourself on a budget and stay with it. I think it's a good thing if you do it now. It's a good thing to start showing your children what they can do if they put their mind to it. I'm 58 years old, and I started this journey, you know, when my husband died. I started it January 2024. And I did it, 2025. He died 2024 in December. And I had always tinkered around the idea. But January 1st, 2025, I went full on budgeting. And I've not looked back. That's the biggest peace of mind that I've ever given myself. And I'm just so grateful that I did it. And I wish everybody could do it. It just makes so much sense, y'all. It really does. You know, I'm a big Dave Ramsey fan. I listen to all of his, the people who are part of that Dave, like it's a part of his little network. I guess they're the faces of Dave Ramsey. His daughter, George, and they were like three others. I would kind of like to go see them when they come around. But it just makes so much sense not to be in debt. It really does. And I'm fortunate that I'm not in debt. But I keep telling my children, Because my husband and I didn't do it like this. We didn't do the Dave Ramsey plan. I'm just not in debt because I'm 58 years old. But if we had started this program way before, I was like in my early 20s or 20s when we were starting our family, we would have been financially, really financially stable. But I'm not unhappy about that. And you know, we always want better. We want better for our children than what we had, right? And so I do think that if people, especially the younger generation, would, you know, try to budget and stay out of debt, then you can start building generational wealth. And so if that's one thing I can push down my children's throat in the next half of my journey here on earth, that's what I'm going to push. I keep pushing it every day. They probably will or will not listen, but the goal for budgeting basically is you want to get out of debt. So if you have credit card debt, student loans, mortgages, car payments, everything, you just want to pay them off. But of course you can't pay them off all at one time, especially if you're living paycheck to paycheck. So you do a snowball effect. And that's what I'm doing with my future bills, the ones that give me these wrinkles that are on my face. You know? But I'm just happy, like I'm happy that I found that whole program. I'm going to try to instill it in my children. It makes me feel good to be able to post videos. I know they're not that wonderful here on YouTube about my cash journey and budgeting. But that, I would say, is the biggest part of my life right now, because without the cash stuffing and the budgeting, I think I would be so scared and I would be so nervous. If I don't sleep at all now, imagine what I would be if I was worried about paying my house taxes next year or my house insurance, you know? I'm not that worried because I budget. And so I'm going to give myself a big check mark on taking care of those things. I feel real swollen today. Can you tell? What did I do yesterday that would have made me swollen? I ate a peanut butter and jelly sandwich for dinner. And then I had a flatbread Hawaiian thing from Tropical Smoothie for lunch. I ate lunch yesterday with my daughter. But anyway, I'm dressed. I'm ready. My hair looks horrible, but I'm not going anywhere today. I'm just ready in case I have to scoot in and run an errand. And I don't have any excuse, right? My new thing is trying to get up and get dressed every day for the day. And it's actually early in the morning when I'm filming. So that's a plus. What else did I do that that I should be proud of for 20? Oh my gosh. The first half of this year, let's just reflect real quick. Okay. In January, I went to the beach for 3 days with my aunt. That was good. February, I had to go get my little puppy dog's teeth out of her mouth. She had to get some teeth pulling and cleaning. Oh, goodness. March, went to Charleston, watched my daughter get married. You know, that's really good. April, my birthday. Okay, and then May, we celebrated my best friend's birthday, and I think I went to the beach. No, I went to the beach, I think, at the beginning of June. Had a good time with my friend on her birthday. But I either went to the beach with my daughter late in May or either early in June. I can't remember. I didn't write it down. I should have written it down. So I haven't had such a bad year. The only thing I didn't focus on like I should have, basically, is my eBay. And I still made progress with that. And I'm making progress with that deal. I've got to get some eBay orders out today and get them ready to ship. But I am moving forward. And so, you know, I thought it would... Hold on. Like, you know, some of the things that I feel like I accomplished is just by waking up, getting ready, going to the grocery store, buying food for myself. Like, I don't know, just living life has been a very good thing for me this past 6 months. So you know what? I'm going to pat myself on the shoulder. You know, I did have already a grandson's birthday. That was such a great accomplishment for our whole entire family. He's, when I say he's sick, he is sick, but you would never know it by looking at him. But it's just awesome to be able to celebrate all of my grandchildren. But I feel like too that I'm successful in just showing up and making videos on YouTube. It takes a lot of courage to do this. You have no idea. It's very hard. It's very awkward. You're sitting there talking to yourself. And I may be getting a little bit better at it, but I don't think I am. But I'm just going to keep showing up because it encourages me. It's good for me to keep kind of like a verbal journal, if that makes any sense. I think another thing that I've learned a lot about myself in the past 6 months is that I'm learning to give myself grace. The first year after my husband died, you're kind of like in a fog or a coma, right? You're living life, but you're not, you're kind of there, but you're not there. I think it probably takes a full 6 months to a year for your brain to rewire and start working somewhat normal again. I think when you go through a tragedy, it's like really mind altering. I mean, it really is. And I feel like I'm waking up, but I also feel like now that I'm waking up, the grief feels different. It almost even feels stronger than it was when it first happened. I don't know if that means the reality is completely set in, but, or maybe I'm just feeling it differently. Maybe I was so numb in the beginning, but now when I have those days, I just feel it deeper. I don't know. Maybe when you get out of the fog, you just hurt differently or feel differently inside. I don't know. And I'm sure everybody does it differently, right? I don't know. But like I said, I'm not going to beat myself up over the things that I thought that I would have done in the first 6 months of 2026. I'm going to give myself grace over that. But then, looking forward or looking ahead, what I want to change about myself and what I want to focus on is I want to spend less time worrying. Lord have mercy. I don't know where. I used to not be a worrier. But I am. I've got so much stuff going on inside of me right now. It's keeping me from sleeping. It's decisions that I don't want to make that I feel that are going to potentially hurt somebody's feelings, but I can't help it. Then you also, want to make sure you're making the right decisions. That's always hard, and you're doing it for your family. Like I said, you want better for your children than you had for yourself. So you're trying to make decisions that are going to impact their future, not just your own. The other thing I want to do is really be more intentional on eBay. That's just something that I feel like I do enjoy doing, but I think I enjoy doing it more as a hobby than I do a job. So I don't know how I'm going to switch my brain into job. It does need to switch into job for a little bit. I do need to switch my brain and say, girl, you got to work this. Because number one, I have so much inventory, and if I don't list it, it's just sitting. It needs to be listed, and it needs to be properly bagged. It needs to be stored correctly, and I need it out of my house, That's where I'm going with this. So I have to do this for not only my mental state of mind, but my future, because one day I'm moving. I'm going to get this house ready and put on the market. I'm not going to be living here forever. At least that's my goal anyway. I want to be intentional on YouTube. That's something I want to look forward to on YouTube in general, because I want us to grow a community here. I want us to be able to have a platform that we support each other and help each other through all of these trying times in our life. But I want us to celebrate each other too. I want everybody, especially people our age, I want us to move forward and have the best of the best ending we can possibly ever have. I want the next 25, 30 years of our life to be exceptional, And I think we can do it. I think I can do it. I just have to work. That's what I've got to do, is just work. My brain goes 24 hours a day. I have ideas. I had one today that I'm going to start writing down, because I think that might be something that would be fun for me. But I'll have to wait and see. I'm not going to tell anybody what it is. But I just have to plan it and see what happens, I'm going to start trying to make time just for things that bring me joy. I mean, whether it's spending time with my family or if it's going to be trying something new. That's what I want to do. I want to, first of all, I want to find myself again. I do want myself to be centered around my family, but I don't want my identity just to be my children's mom. Well, yeah, I do. I like my identity to be their mom and their JuJu, but I want a life of my own that's separate from them. And I think that's important for all of us, because we really lean on each other. We really do. And I wouldn't change it for a thing. I love it. I'm gonna go to this early in the morning. If the first half of this year wasn't everything that you hoped it would be, don't let that convince you that the rest of the year can't be wonderful. I feel like every day is an opportunity to begin again. I make my little list and notes. You know, sometimes whenever I get off that little note writing journey of mine, I seem to fumble. But when I write my notes and do it every day, and if I can just check off one or two things on that list, that's good. I'm happy for that. You know? But anyway, it's just another opportunity. Every morning you wake up and make out your list just to begin again. And don't look back. Don't beat yourself up. We're good. We got this, right? But anyway, all I want to say is, oh my gosh, thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's just amazing that even one person watches my videos. And that's about really all that watches. So whoever you are, thank you. Yeah, there's a few more, but please leave me a message. I want to hear from you. I want to know what did you accomplish this year? One thing. I mean, even if it was waking up and getting dressed today, tell me about it. You know? If you found something fun to do outside of your family let us know about it. Don't keep all the secrets. Tell us about it. So anyway, that's all I've got to say. If you're new here, please subscribe and like my channel, and everybody else like my channel, please, and leave a comment. And remember, no matter where you are in your journey, keep moving forward, one step, one day, and one chapter at a time. I don't know which chapter I'm in right now. What chapter? Let's see if I had to name my chapter of my book. I think it would be called, oh my gosh, the first thing that popped in my head, I was thinking of Madonna for some reason. Desperately Seeking Susan, not the movie. I didn't even like that movie whenever it came out, but I was thinking the chapter of this book would be Desperately Seeking Angela. That was my first thought, is if I had to write this chapter. I'm desperately seeking her. Where is she? I've got to find her because she's gone. She checked out and I've got to get her back. I've got to get her back. I've got to get her back. So maybe we'll find JuJu in the other half of this year. Okay? Bye. Thank you guys. Stay positive. We've got this, right? Bye.